you know, people need to have belief in themselves, and people need to have know that they're worth something. And when people believe in themselves and know that they're worth something, then they will pursue their dreams. And if they start pursuing their dreams and they know that they're worthy of achieving them, then they'll achieve their dream, and it becomes reality. And that's the reward. That's what I like to see.
Yes, see, that all comes from having your focused. See, when you are focused on the right thing, that's where that energy is going to come from. Because you're going to do the things that you are focused on. But if you're not focused on your dream, you're not going to achieve that dream. And that's when it's a process to that. It's like I said, everything in life is about having a process. See, that's the growth process. See, progress to get to that happiness is growth. Long as you are growing, you're going to be in that happy space. And when you are in that happy space, you're going to tend to choose the positive versus the negative. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yes, I would too. Because basically, to help you, when you understand your purpose, you will have that clarity. And now you are free to have that focus. So for those that come to you, and when they realize that purpose, what is the process that you take them through?
There is a step-by-step process, just like in any program. It depends on the individual. It depends on what they've been through before. It depends on where they want to go. You know, what their end goal is. We all have end goals, but we should never get to a point where we've achieved everything we want in life. We should always strive for something new. So there is basic set of steps that you would go through. However, every individual is molded differently. You know, the first basic steps is just to get to know who you really are. And a lot of times, that's the hardest part for anybody, to really come face to face with themselves. None of us really want to know ourselves.
Yes, that is true. But sometimes it's not really about us just knowing ourselves. We just have to really be honest with ourselves. Because when we can be honest with ourselves, then we can begin to grow. Because as long as we try to cover up and hide, nothing can come from that. Nothing good anyway.
I mean, you can't hide from yourself. I mean, there was a country song back in the 80s. My daughter just really could not stand. And it was something about no matter where you go, there you are. You cannot run from yourself. You can hide from anybody else in the world, but not from yourself.
That is true. And when you cease to have a goal to reach, you will really cease to exist. Because even today, not even with just children, but even with adults, when you don't have a plan, when you don't have a goal, what do?
You spiral downward.
Yes. You have no goals. I mean, my son told me one day when he came home, he said, "Mama, everybody around here, they don't have no goal to do everything. Everybody just want to just drink all day." Okay, I'm glad you understand that. I'm glad you realize that's not a life. Sometimes people just be walking around here, but they're dead inside. And their life tells that story. And it's no good for anybody, but especially think about when now you have children. This is what they're seeing you do on the regular. And then you wondering what's wrong with your child. That's why I am such an advocate for the parent-child relationship, because it's about having the right strategy, having the right resources, and then targeting the right problem. But it's a process to it all. See, a lot of times in life, we don't want to go through the process. We want everything to come to us easy. And that's not going to happen. You have to work for whatever it is that you want. See, as the Bible says, faith without works is dead. You have to, it's action.
Absolutely. You know, that's what we are taught in a lot of things, and that's what I teach all of my clients from my business, is that you can have an entire library and have read every single book in that library. You can have all the wisdom in the world and all the knowledge in the world, but it's not going to get you wealth or success or fame. It takes one word: action.
Yes, I totally agree. And see, there is such a peace of mind that you can have for yourself. And when you get to a certain place within yourself, that's something that money cannot buy. Money is a tool to help, but it's not going to give you that happiness inwardly that you're looking for, that happiness that's going to last no matter what.
Absolutely. There's only one thing that will fill that void, and that's the Creator that created us. He made us with that void in there for a reason, because He's supposed to be filling that hole.
Yes, and I totally agree. Because what I have found, one of the things that we lack so much of today, and that's love. And that's one of the very things that represents Christ is love. And a lot of us
Absolutely.
don't know how to receive love, don't know how to give love, and a lot of us don't even know what love look like. But see, when we can learn how to love ourselves, have compassion for ourselves, because sometimes the hardest thing to do is to forgive ourselves when we have done something wrong. That's why I always say you can't forgive somebody else if you can't do it for yourself. It's not going to work that way. You got to go by God's order.
You know, that is a statement that I have heard so many times throughout my years of coaching and counseling people.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the saddest statement in the world. I don't know how to love. I don't know how to love myself. I don't know who I am. Those are two of the most saddest statements in the whole world. And I have heard them thousands of times in the last 20 years. And I hear them on a regular basis from my clients. And it's just the the world is cruel enough, and they say that love has to start at home, which is true. If you're in a home that the parents don't even know what love is, then where do they go to find it?
Wherever they can find it, wherever they can get that connection at. And the sad thing about it is that connection could be negative. But you got
This is true.
Yes, and that's a problem. If you don't get it from home, if you don't get it from somewhere, you're going to get it wherever you can get it from, because it's survival for you.
From the psychology books, they'll teach you that the human soul has to have 10 strokes a day, whether positive or negative. You have to get your mind is required, your spirit is required to get 10 strokes a day. You prefer positive,
yes,
of course, but if you can't get positive attention, then subconsciously you will seek negative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if they can't get the positive attention, the love, because it is ingrained in us when we are born to get the positive attention. But if we can't get the positive attention, we will seek the other, because we need that attention. I mean, it's like needing bread and water to survive physically.
That's why that psychology is so important, because it's going to determine how you're going to meet those needs. Because even us as adults, we do the same thing. If we don't get the attention we want, guess what we're going to do? We got to do to get that attention. Like, whether it's positive or negative, just like kids do. Because I think, that love, I think that's the most important factor. Because, no matter what it is that you go through, it's that love. I so heartedly believe, just like when he said love encompasses everything. And I firmly believe that. Because, see, what I have done for myself is looking at how I can still love and still love my enemy in spite of myself, is because I understand the love that Christ first gave to me. And that's how I am able to love myself and love any and everybody else, despite what it is that they do. Despite themselves, I can still have that love. But that is a space that is so hard for a lot of us to come to, especially when somebody has done us wrong.
But you know what? We all know what love is inside. Because if you ask someone that says, I don't know what love is, you ask them, how do you want to be treated? They'll tell you. They'll tell you exactly what they think life should be. They'll tell you exactly how people should behave. And 9 times out of 10, that's exactly correct. They will tell you, well, if you have a child, you should caress them. You should talk nice to them. You should teach them how to be nice. Their wordage may not be, right up there, but they have the correct mindset. They have the right way of going. They're on the right path. They have it already built inside them what they need. They've just not been given what they needed.
Yes, that's why I say that inner warrior that's on the inside of you is in you, but it's up to you to bring it out. And that's the process. A lot of times we don't want to go through that process.
It hurts.
We got to work through that hurt.
We're afraid of what's on the other side of that wall.
The unknown.
We don't know what's on the other side of that wall. And the unknown is sometimes more terrifying than what we know. Even though we don't like where we are right now, and it's very uncomfortable where we are right now, we don't know what else is out there.
But see, that's why if you develop a plan for yourself, that's why it helps to get to a certain place within yourself. So no matter what it is that you come up on or what comes at you, you'll be able to shift and move to be able to deal with it, to knock it down. If it's a wall that's up there, you can knock that wall down. But you got to shoot that arrow at some point so you can know how to maneuver, how to get that arrow to hit center mass. Because if you stay where you are, you will never know. You don't know what it is that you may be keeping yourself from that would be so beautiful and so calm, and it's just overwhelming for you in a good way, because you let that fear hold you back. You just have to bite off that elephant one bite at a time. And a lot of times they're what's scared because they feel overwhelmed because they don't know how to respond or what to do. You can prepare yourself for that no matter what it is. Because there are going to be things in life that you're not going to be prepared for, but guess what? But you still have to deal with it. Because guess what? If you don't, that's where you get depressed, anxiety comes in, and it'll lead to other things. That's how you end up on drugs, how you end up becoming an alcoholic, because you're not dealing with the situation. Because no matter where you find yourself, let it be, it's an experience that you're going through. But it's going to be up to you to move forward, to move past that. Because there is a solution to it, but you've got to be willing to get the help and work through it.
A lot of us look at where we are, and then we look at the top of the mountain or our goal of where we want to be. And we don't look at the in-between. Mm-hmm. We just go, oh, wow, that is way over there. I can't do that. And then they just shut down. I'll never make it, I'll never do this, I'll never do that.